Chiamaka, welcome to Influencer Stories Hub. It's so great to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much for
So,
having me.
it's pleasure. So let's go back to the very beginning. Before Google Arts, before the students, before all of this, who was Chiamaka? Tell us a little about where you grew up and what life looked like for you as a young girl.
Oh, okay, okay. So I've actually shared the story multiple times, honestly, and it's quite interesting. But I wasn't really somebody who was into tech. I didn't really see myself doing tech, to be honest, or being online because first thing, I didn't really. I would say I wasn't opportunity to get a phone, any kind of phone, a young age or stuff like that because literally my family could not afford that. Okay. So Chamaka was somebody that had to go through a lot of depression, frustration to get to the point where she was just tired of her family background because I could remember when I was done with school, like we call it secondary school here, high school. So when you're done with your high school, there's this exam you write. It's called JAM, where you enter the university. So remember, I took that exam and I first got the cutoff mark for what I wanted to study. And my parents were like, "Oh, you can't go because the location you selected is too far." But deep down, I knew it wasn't about location. Because literally, yes, I picked another state, but it wasn't about location. This kind of instance where you feel like it's not location problem, it's money problem. They just can't afford to push you through your university. I believe people call it college. So they were like, just wait 1 year, and after 1 year, definitely we would put you through the university. It's for people it might be like, oh, it's a reasonable suggestion, like why not just sit and wait. But imagine being a teenager and you are in school, friends, these friends, they are going, you are not going. So it was a lot of pressure because every single time I see my students, they're like my classmates, they will be like, oh, are you going? Are you going? Are you going to the university? Because they are going. And another thing was that I was very, very good in school. Like I was very, very brilliant. So it was kind of like a shock that people would ask me, oh, are you forging your university? And I'm like, no, I'm not forging. So because they'll be like, oh, you're intelligent, you're brilliant. Why? So came with a lot of things because I also like I was a prefect in my school. I served as a physics lab prefect. So we literally control junior students like, oh, to do the right thing, guide them, all the stuff. So imagine your junior ones also mocking you. Probably not in school premises, but like when when they see you outside the school just walking around, they'll be like, oh, this my friend, she's not forgery. So it's a big deal. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a big deal. So though I knew that okay, they were just telling me to wait for a year, but I kept on asking myself, what if 1 year is not enough? I mean, I know for them they will think, oh, she's just a child, we can't take her to church. Right? We can try to find money within 1 year, like buy time, all those stuff in a year. But I kept on asking myself, like, what if after 1 year nothing happens, right? So it was very depressing. But I remember multiple times where I thought I was to be honest, because people, for teenagers, people don't really understand how easy it is for teenagers to get depressed, to get frustrated. There's so many things around you because your friends are pressuring you. Like I literally was getting call from my besties, and it was not the kind of, oh, we are behind you all the stuff or we are cheering for you. No, it was the kind of call where they are mocking you and they're laughing at your face. So it showed a lot of people people's color. I never knew that period was going to expose a lot of persons, but it did show like what their color looked like. And I was shocked because I was that kind of person that I didn't judge anybody. I was jovial. Like I wasn't really popular, but I'm that kind of person that don't have issues with anybody. I can I can like walk with anybody. You could say, oh, this person is so stubborn, they don't sit still or something, but I would find my way in class. So I didn't really have enemies. I didn't have anybody I had issues with. I was shocked that, everybody had different ways they were reacting to it, and it was not in a good way. Like, even people that do ask, oh, why aren't you furthering all this stuff? It's not in a good way. It's like they're trying to get more juicy gossip from your mouth so that they can then spread it in the way they want to. It was really a very it was a turning point. It was a depressing moment. It was frustrating, but just like they would say it that there's always a hidden lesson to any challenge, any disaster, or any tragedy, right? Because for me, I felt like my whole world was going to fall apart because even in my family, they know that I love to read. I am, I am a book freak. I love to read. I love to consume knowledge. So it's like imagine them telling you, "Oh, you can't afford that." Like, what else am I going to do? So I during that period, yeah, I cried multiple times. I was depressed, tired, all those things. So I decided to I told my parents that I want to learn something or work, right? But then they were like, okay, no problem, you can do something like that. And later on, I also like tried to encourage my parents to let me stay with my elder sister. So they agreed because like, oh, you're not doing anything at home or just stuff. So I left city to another place entirely. And I didn't really know that it was going to make a change because being able to just live there to go to another place, like you're not bumping into people you are familiar with asking you, why are you not in school? Do you get? Or maybe you bump into their parents asking you, oh, you're not in school, all the stuff like that. And when I was able to move, I had the opportunity to like really ask myself, like, what do I really want to do? Because nobody knows me, so I can mold myself any which way I want to. So definitely, I knew that okay, fine. I was waiting for a year, no problem. Which I know it was a fight. Like it was obvious. Like it was that fact that sometimes you couldn't even eat 3 square meals. So you're talking about school. So I just said, okay, I'm going to save up money for myself so that I can put myself back in school. Personally, I wanted to take the burden off every single one of my family member and then just carry it shoulder it by myself. So I started working. I think I worked as a cleaner and I was paid 15,000. I didn't really do that work. 15,000 is like $10 monthly. Right now it's like $10 monthly, so it's very low, very very small. But I was like, I didn't want to stay idle. I was doing it, and then I think I had to come to clean 4 times in a week, stuff like that. But it was a big house. It's not like it was a big house, so they knew that they were not paying me enough to clean the house. But I was like, one thing I've come to learn is when you're desperate to get something, people find a way to like flash the 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 money for it. You understand? Because they feel like, oh, this person is desperate. They will take it. They will take it. They will take it. And you're desperate, so they know they will just flash you. Oh, if you're not taking the job, someone else will take it. So it was not even realistic for you to pay somebody that amount. But I just agreed because I didn't want to just be idle. And I did that. I would say 4 months, 4, 5, 6 months. I also stopped that because it was hectic. Then I got another cleaning job, and this time around it was around, let's say, 20K. 20K should be around, if I'm not mistaken, let's say $12, $15, still within the low range. But I was like, oh, it's better life. So I did that. It was very hectic. Like one of the reasons I kept on, like after 3, 4 months, I'll stop those jobs is because when you're done cleaning for the day, you come back like you're so tired, your body, your muscle, you're tired. So I'm like, I can't like I can't do this thing for 1 year and save money because it's breaking me. Like when you're doing, you have to take medicine. That's not job anymore now. That's first. Like so, at the point I stopped that one, and then later on, I saw this post somewhere that they needed an assistant baker, like an assistant that would help them in baking and other stuff. So I went and I applied, I reached out, and I went for the interview. It wasn't really an interview because it was like an internship. Because I could remember we were like two, including one other girl that was living in that estate, that street. So she was willing to teach us for free about pastries, baking, cakes, all the stuff like that. And then out of the three of us, she was supposed to pick one person that is hardworking, good, and that is attentive, right, enough to then work with her as an assistant. So that was it. So of course, like I knew that okay, the stakes were high, and I was like putting in the energy. But then I noticed that the other two girls, they were like the same age as me, but then they weren't really putting much energy because they were living in that estate and they were just learning that skills because it was holiday period. That was the time like people came back from college, they came back from university, they were resting. So it's not like a competition for them. But still I didn't mind because I was not willing to take chances. I was like, no, like I need to still put in my efforts just in case, like, this kind of thing, like you feel like, oh, this is your one opportunity and you have to just go with it. So I was like serious, putting in the work, and she was like, oh, I can see your work, all the stuff. So I believe after the whole internship period, she then hired me officially. I started working as a baker. Then, first of all, it was like an assistant, and I would say I learned very fast. Like I'm a fast learner. So after like 30 days, yes, officially, so she was like, oh, I'm going to be paying you 20K, but I'm going to increase it, which is the same amount with the cleaning. But then the difference was the work was no longer hectic. And then secondly, I was learning a skill, okay, because it was baking skill. And these are things here in Nigeria that if you would want to learn to be a pastry chef or to learn how to bake, you're paying crazy money for it. So I was getting a skill for free and I was also lending a helping hand and it wasn't hectic. So for me then, it was a win. I was like, yes. So I was working and I was, writing all the order, baking cake, baking pastries, and snacks, all those stuff like that. And I actually did that for close to 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. I did that for 2 years. But the thing was that I realized that her place was very far from where I lived. So I was basically spending a lot of money for transportation. Like I was being paid 20K, but then I was spending like 18K for transport. That's like literally saying that somebody's paying you like $20, then you spend $18 for transportation. Then you have $2 left. Like what would you do with that? So during that 2 years, I started learning how to. I wouldn't say I learned how to drive. I just had to drive. I used it as sport. So there were some places I felt like, oh, if I was to walk with my leg all the way into my estate, I'm going to save out 100 naira. I'm going to save out 200 naira, stuff like that. So that was how I started walking. But it might take me 10 more minutes to get there. So I try to wake up earlier, which is bad because when you then get there, you're tired because you were walking. Okay. Then when you're done with work, you're still going to walk to a particular distance before you get a cab, enter. So it was as if like every single thing I was trying to do to cost was also coming at a cost. So more stress. All right. There was a period I fell sick because of how stressful. You get to work Monday to Saturday, you get to resume 8 a.m., you get to close sometimes 6 p.m., 7 p.m., right? And that was it. So at the point I had to discuss with her that I need you to increase my salary because my take home is just 2K, 2,000 naira. That's it. And she was like, oh, I wasn't aware. I'm going to. like I'm going to increase your salary, and I was like, okay, that's fine, no problem. Then COVID hit. I think it was 2020. COVID happened. So during that period, we were supposed to stay at home for like 30 days or 60 days. Oh my god. I think that period I felt like I was just going to faint because you have to stay at home for 30 days. You're not making money. Because then I felt like, oh, the only way to make money was to just go out. You have to go out, you have to go out, you have to go out and go and make money. And then you're not making money. Even the little money that I had as savings it wasn't even much. You get I'm not sure if it was even up to 10,000 that I've saved after 2 years. Remember, after 2 years of working there. So like during that COVID, it was lockdown, everybody was indoor, nobody was going out, and it was crazy. Like people were going crazy. People were like, I might lose my job. Some people were like, I'm not making money. A lot of businesses closed down, and she was one of the people that were shaking because they're still small business owners. So I'm like, what if this thing really does affect her business and she closes? Then me, I have to go back to the job market, start looking for a job again. And I'm like, God, what's going on? You get so it was really crazy, but I would say COVID was the period that actually did mold me because you have to stay at home, you have to think about your life. And I'm that kind of person that I do think, but I feel like I think more about the problem. Like I just sit more and worry about the problem. Not even think, I just worry. I just when I'm done worrying, I exaggerate the problem. The problem might be like this, but then I worry and I exaggerate it to as big as this. So then later on, I was like, okay, let's forget about money is the problem, but let's forget about money. Me, what do I really want to do? That was when it was during COVID. I started asking myself, what do I really want to do? How do I really want to live my life? Like, am I going to keep working forever? Because I tried saving for school fees and 2 years I could not save anything. 2 years is gone. Which means I was right because really did call me and say, "Oh yeah, you can go back to school." So I was right to start like finding ways. So it wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy. COVID was not an easy period, but then I feel like that was the point where I started saying, "Oh, I need to start doing something more. I need to have either a side business or a side hustle or something, just anything." Because going back to my job is like a risk because I don't even know if a business going to be stable. So after COVID, remember when we resumed, she was then telling me she can't add the salary, like she can't add extra money to the salary because of when COVID happened, a lot of people lost customers. A lot of you know businesses that were doing so well picking up were doing little, and at that period it was just like a phase. But the issue now is you don't know how long that phase is going to last, right? So that was just the problem. So she was like, "You can't increase the money. If you can stay, please stay. I want you to stay, but I cannot increase the money at the moment." And then also she relocated her store because she was doing this bakery at her family's house. They have a place and she decorated it. She was doing like a small business. So now she had to move my store to a big plaza because she already had a year ago. But the issue was that when she moved to the bigger plaza, to the bigger space, where she then created it as a cafe where people could walk in, order and eat there, the place was now farther away from where I was staying. Like it was more far compared to where she was. So, it's at that junction, it's as if I don't stop this job, I might actually beg people for transport to go to a place I call job. Then when they pay me, I have to settle loans and then borrow again to continue working the next one. So the math was not, it wasn't mathing at all. Like it wasn't conducive. I couldn't even save anything. And that was how I stopped. Okay. So when I stopped, I also did get another job because now I have a baking skill for 2 years. I think that was the best decision I made. I have a baking skill for 2 years, so it was easier for me to get another. And I got another job was like working in a cafe as a pastry chef. And I was paid like 50K, which means my earnings has like doubled. Even though it wasn't so much, but for me as a student, okay, I can save something from this. But then the issue was like, okay, I can save something from this, but then where is the time? Where am I going to get the time to study? Where am I going to get the time to start going to school? Stuff like that. But then at a period again, that cafe, they had a misunderstanding. Like the two partners had a misunderstanding. So they had to like close down because it was that serious. They started going to court. I don't know what the issue was. They went to court, so they were like, everybody should be on hold. The issue again, you don't know how long this case is going to take for it to settle. Then everybody, how are you sure everybody is going to get hired? You get so it's as if every single time you have to like your own life is at risk because you can't wait. Are you going to be waiting 1 year for the case to be settled? Are you going to like so I also the good thing was that I already had a skill, like the baking skill. So it was easier for me to get job now because I now have baking skill. Like I have the skill, one of the skill people are always looking for. And you know, in the culinary niche, in the food niche, restaurant niche, having a pastry skill is something that is very good. Yeah. So I was able to get another job. Now it was like a living job with a family. And when I was in the cafe, I was actually taught some pastry, international dishes, intercontinental dishes, how to serve them because I was working with the chef. I was the only pastry chef there, and I think there was another chef, another assistant. So mostly they did the food, then the snack was once in a while. So I was learning from them because they were putting me through. Reason being that there was a point where they said they have to do shifting so that you have more off days, people could rest more. So they were trying to like train me to learn more so that once I get the hang of it, they start to do the shifting of it. And before the whole misunderstanding between the two partners happened. So I was able to have a good relationship as a pastry chef and also as a chef, a culinary chef. And they took me like I would say it was easy because now I have a skill. Okay, I have a baking skill and I have a culinary skill. So even when I still working for the family, also register for another culinary school, better one because you know these are things you learn from the kitchen. But I felt like okay with the culinary school, you get to learn more because they'll tell you design it this, decorate it like this. That really helped me because I was able to learn so many things from this culinary school. And the family was so nice that it was working. It was like a living. So I was working with them, and they were paying me well. I would say my pay was like 65K. So I don't even notice now they are paying more value to money. 65K right now is like $60. Now it's not so much as well, but then for a student, somebody at the age of 19, 20, it's like a lot of money, right? All you're just doing is paying. Not all the time, so you could save enough money. So I was working with these people and I stayed with these people looking for them. I did have 1 day off, which was on Sundays, which means Saturday, Saturday evening, done, like making dinner for them, and then I leave, I go home. Then Sunday evening I come back. So it was 1 day off. Everything went well, like everything was going fine. But then, you know, for me, I felt I can't this lifestyle because number one, it's a living. I'm locked out of the world. Like there's no opportunity. When I was working at the cafe, I was learning how to, make intercontinental dishes. I was getting numbers of people. I was communicating, networking. But now I have to do living, which means I'm staying with these people. These are the only faces I see majorly. I can't go out. I can't go out with my family. I can't go out with my friends because I'm working. So I even went back to because every single time my mind has always been school, school, school. I wanted to like further my university. So I even asked myself like if I yes I can save money from this job to put myself in school, but how will I be able to handle it when school when the institution can tell me okay these are the days for the exam, are the days for your practical, come for test, come for lectures. You cannot be taking excuse oh I lecture. It doesn't make you look as if you want to be a chef that wants to work there. And it's a living chef, you're a family chef, so like you have to be responsible, like you have to take up that role very well. At the point I'm like, okay, I'm just going to work with these people for a little while, then I'll stop. But then in my 6 months of working, I kept on asking myself, when I stop, what else will I do? I mean, I can't just save money. Money is like money is like air. You can't keep it one place. Even though you say, "Oh, I'm saving money in the bank," you're always going to spend on one thing or the other. So it is what you do with it. That is what you can say. Okay, I was able to use my money to get this item, or I use my money to do. That's what you remember your money for. So I was like, yes, I can save money in a year or in a month from this job. Yes, they pay me well, but I can't keep it to study for complete 5 years or 4 years, right? Because I know I'm always going to stick to textbook, one thing or the other. So even if I stop right now, what else can I do? Already, I feel like doing a physical job, like maybe going to apply for a chef again, might be out of the line because I'm always going to be busy and it's always going to be hectic because you're a chef, you're always going to make everything. And you have to focus on that making to come out nice and you want to do your job for crying out loud. I was like, probably really have to start doing something online. So I could remember I was like in the room because they did give me like a room in the like a let's say boys squad, something like that. So I was in the room and I started saying, how can I make money legitly online? So that was where the journey started. How can I make money legitly online? And I was seeing so many amazing things. And I saw, oh, you could be a YouTuber, you could be this, you could be that. Like, yes, that was when I remember that there was a time, like I would say 4 or 5 years ago, I tried YouTubing. But what people don't understand about YouTube is that you need money to maintain it. Like the amount of money you need to just to upload your videos, one, the kind of content you want to create, like for example, if you want to create food content on YouTube, you want to teach people how to make food, because that was the anchor I was taking us as a chef. You need to be buying these items. Oh, I bought this, I bought curry, I bought you understand? Or you want to teach them how to make bought flour, you need to buy this item. And I don't have not if I cannot raise that money, but I shouldn't have the window to spend more. Find more ways to make money, then keep the ones I have down and make more. So this felt like the whole thing going through. I knew that I cannot be a burden to anybody. You get I can't put myself in school and then start calling people and start saying, oh, I need money. Because they'll be like, you put yourself in school. So why you calling for that? So so many things was moving in my head. So I was like, oh, I don't think I can try you to be again. Let me see what else. But during that period also, for my mom, my mom, my brother, they were able to raise like a huge sum of money to put me in school the next year. And I was like, oh, fine, everything is working. Thank God they have huge sum of money. They put me in school and stuff. But I didn't want to rely on them because I knew it took them a whole lot to be able to raise that money. So I okay, so like back this up with my own. So I would say I worked with the family 8 months and I stopped. They didn't want me to stop. Like they kept on asking me, what's the issue? And I'm like, no, I want to go back to school fully. And they were like, we don't want you to go. Isn't there a better way? Can't you wait 1 year more? And they were actually enticing me that they were going to double my salary, which was very enticing. Like that's a good deal. But then I was like, I don't want to get comfortable because one thing with school or one thing with brilliant people is that when you take away that thing they love to do the most, which is like read, study, with time they begin to become dull. That's it. So I felt like if I was to wait more, I would have lost the zeal to further university. Right? And I know these days they tell you, oh, school is scam, school is scam. But it's the foundation. It gives you the knowledge you need. It gives you that opportunity. There's something they always say here in Nigeria that it's better for you to have it when you need it, you don't have it. There are some opportunities that will come to you, and all you have to do is to just show your degree, and then you get that opportunity. So imagine when you get to that stage and then you don't have your degree. So it's better for you to have it and not need it than for you to need it and not have it. So that's one adage they use here in Nigeria. And to be honest, it's very best. It could be scholarship, it could be a contract. I've seen people that close huge contract just because they graduate, because the company feels like, okay, this person can handle this. Like they graduate, they cleared up their papers. I'm telling you, like, so people, because contract is based on big money, so they want to be sure that you can handle this thing. Since like you can handle this large sum of money, they don't want to give their money to anybody that they feel is not responsible. And they're going to check everything, not just your testimonial, not just your portfolio, not just your website. They're going to check even your education. Like, you understand my point, yeah? So I've seen people that it's just their certificate, their graduate certificate, they were able to use to close an opportunity. Some of them were scholarship. So I was like, okay, I can't be comfortable here, even if they are enticed. They are trying. They told me they were going to double the salary. They told me that I'm going to be having 2 days off. So it was like a dream come true. Like, why would you leave if this all these deals are on the table? And I'm like, this is not me. Like, yes, I want to. Like one thing in life is you need to, that passion in you, that thing you are chasing, that thing that keeps you hungry every single day, that you're like, oh, I can, let me get it, like, let me keep pushing. It's very important to listen to that. I mean, it can be risky listening to the voice because you could lose your job, you could just chase your dream. Right? But then I don't want a situation where, yes, I have a lot of money, like, I make a lot of money, but I'm miserable. Because there are people who are rich and miserable because they didn't really guts in them to chase their passion. It could be their passion could be music, but they ended up maybe being a judge, and they're making money being a judge, but then they're miserable because they didn't chase their passion. So it was a big risk. I'm like, what's the essence of life? I mean, imagine me, I thought of suicide a few years back. So like, if I'm not in this life to chase my dream, like, why am I living? I don't need the money. I don't need, so, like, yes, we need money, everybody needs it, but what I'm trying to say is, if it doesn't entice me, if the money does not give me the passion to keep going, I don't want to, because at the end of the day, I've seen people also on social media, their old age, they tell you, chase your dream, go for what you love, because at the end of the day, you're going to leave this world dead. So it's very important to know that thing that actually does push you, that thing that gives you the drive to keep going, and then chase it, especially at a young age. Like, chase it very well. Do you get? Because those people you see them winning today are actually people that kept on chasing their dream. They believed, like, what you see here today, this setup, it was never here. It was never here. Like, I started with a broken phone. I started building up with a broken phone. And it wasn't just, I first of all, when I stopped um, working there, I started doing social media management, and I was handling people's accounts on Instagram. But they were not paying me more. I didn't know anything about personal branding, so I was just like scraping literally. But then at a point it was just too much. I couldn't handle the accounts because they were not paying me more. Imagine handling like 7 accounts and you're not even being paid. Altogether, you're not even being paid the amount you make as a living chef for a family. So I was like, no, I can't do this. So I stopped, and I was looking for something online to still do because I had a lot of savings. So I think that was the period I bought a system, like my first laptop, and I also bought a brand new phone. But then I kept on asking myself, like, I cannot keep on buying gadgets. I also bought a ring light, a very small ring light, and a microphone. But I told myself, I can't keep buying gadgets. Gadgets will not make me the money, it will not give me the visibility. Because I've seen people that will tell you to start with what you have. So I'm like, I need to start with what I have. Because I might end up buying ring light and still not have a great idea to sell out to the world. And nobody will patronize you or want to get your service. So I'm like, what should I do? So I was like always cool. Like, the good thing was that I was always online now. Like, I could enter Instagram. I knew there were legitimate ways to earn online. But then I was now looking for a guide, and I was also looking for that thing that actually does really like spark my like, oh, I love this. Social media managing, like it was good, but I felt like it wasn't me. It wasn't something I really really like. It was something I was doing for the money. So that was another thing that made me like the passion, the energy died down because it was just the money, and I was like, I don't want to do this. So I could remember that night I was scrolling through my WhatsApp status. Then I bumped into an old friend from school, her status. And when I checked, she was like posting about affiliate marketing. And then she was posting her new wig and she was posting her outfit. And then she was posting herself in school. And mind you, we were from the same broke community. My friend posted on her status, she was posting wig, fine outfits. She was also posting herself in school, and we're actually from the same broke community. So I knew that, oh, like being able to like really fund school, also buy the also buy this expensive phone, like iPhone, all the stuff. Then I sent her a DM, yeah, what are you doing? Like put me on, and she was like, oh, I'm doing an online bingo. I want to do online business too. So what are you doing? And then she was like, I do affiliate marketing. She told me about affiliate marketing, and she explained it to me. Oh, affiliate marketing is you just recommending a product or a service. Once the payment is made, you get your commission as an athlete. So as an athlete, you're a middle person. And I was like, awesome. I'm interested. I even went to learn research about affiliate marketing, and they told me, oh, it's a legit business. Yeah, people do it for a living. I'm like, okay, I want to try it. So, but didn't really have enough money at that period to sign on because appraising like friends, I was running down on expenses. But then I would say I borrowed money to sign on. I think it was 20K, either 20K. Then I signed up on that system. So she signed me up on that system, and I opened the course and I was like, where's the money? Where's the money? I was like, go through the course. It's the course that they would like to be valuable. But then I wasn't really what's being valuable. Like I didn't really care. I was like, I bought the course. Where's the money? So I was asking questions, but they were not meaningful questions. Like I would literally ask, what's next? I've gotten the course. What's next? I would also ask, should I increase the volume of the video as I'm going through the course? Because I just felt like the money was going to come from the course. It would fall somewhere. So she was like, you have to go through your course. So at a point, I was like, I have to go through these videos, and they were plenty. So I started like pausing my to go through the first one. The first one was introduction about mindset and what it is. And they did a breakdown on why like being poor is not about your finance, it's about fear. Like you can not have money for a short period of time, but if you're valuable, you can make all kinds of money. Wow. Like, so the first one was mindset. It really like calmed me down. I was like, okay, this thing is valuable. Let me go further. And I was learning more. So I started like getting some questions that I would want to ask. And she was guiding me at the point, but later on, she was like, I asked too many questions. This time, the questions were relevant, okay? But she was like, I keep on asking too many questions. She can't coach me anymore. And then she blocked me. So it was really, we actually entered a disagreement and then she blocked me, which is a separate story later. But then, because she sent me on that system, on my email, I could, like, you would see your letter, like, they will send you like a congratulation letter. You are now an affiliate partner on that system. So all the social media of this system were there. So they will tell you, oh, follow us, all those stuff. So it was luckily enough to follow them on X. And I was like, should I give up? During the time she blocked me, I was like, should I give up on this? Like, I don't have a coach. I don't know how to do this. So I entered X to look and I saw it was only this time I was following. So I saw they didn't even drop a screenshot. I cannot believe it. Like, from this same African market, I'm like, no, like I need to know what these people are doing differently. And I was like, scrolling. I kept on seeing screenshot of people like because they would drop screenshot, they would tag them. They just then would repost, and I'm like, no, if this thing is getting these people results, it will get me. And then I saw a 16 years old boy, Joshua Ndukwe, if I'm getting his name correct. He's a 16 years old boy, but he makes seven figures from this business monthly. And I'm like, in this Nigeria, so I'm like, I need to follow. So I ended up chatting somebody. I saw his screenshot of him getting a generator, getting a new office, getting a new phone, ring light. So he posted it. That was the recent post. I DM'd him. His name is Coach Destin. So I DM'd him and I was like, please put me through my marketing. New explained to him that okay, my coach, who is also my old time school friend, blocked me because I was asking him. He was like, no, she shouldn't have blocked you. That has no access. So because of the whole thing I explained to him, he didn't charge, he didn't collect. Just told me, I'm going to put you through. When you start making your first sales, but then you can get paid for my mentorship. And the mentorship was cheap. It was like around $10, 15K, 50,000 naira. So I was like, okay, no problem. So he was actually the person really broke this thing down. Yes, the course explained a lot of things, but when the training is so much and there's so many things for you to learn from the course, you then just don't know where to start. You don't just know, okay, where should I start from? And that was when he started telling me about personal branding. He started telling me about getting a professional picture, going to studio to take a professional picture. He started telling me about positioning myself. He started telling me about, okay, these are the valuable content you would post on your WhatsApp. He taught me about WhatsApp and everything. He taught me about lead generation. So that was when I realized that, oh, in affiliate marketing, you need two things. You need to do lead generation and you need to be very, very good at sales closing and building audience. So those were where I now invested my energy. He also shared with me a lot of amazing books. How to sell in Nigeria, the book about how to sell in Nigeria. He also told me about the book about Rich Dad Poor Dad. Um, he also told me about The Mountain Is You. So all this book, all this interesting book, he was the one that recommended to me. I'm that kind of person. I could cram something, I could cram a book to pass exam, but I wouldn't study it because I like it because I don't like reading books that does not come with pictures. So most of all these books, all these knowledgeable books, they don't come with pictures. They are just words. I don't like it. But then because I was like, I wanted to like just put that girl wrong because we entered a heated argument and she was like, Chiamaka, you're not calling for the online space. The questions you asked are so ridiculous. You don't even have a phone. Like she was like referencing back to the where I don't have a phone. She was like, so you just recently got a phone now. How can you catch up? That was what she was saying. You can't catch up with the internet. Forget about this. Quit. Go back to your job. So for me, it was like an insult because I was one of the most brilliant people in school. And mind you, this was part of the people I was also like, it was my classmates, but then I was putting out through in so many things like maths, English. I was like breaking things down for her, like carrying her along. She was my bestie in school. So I felt like, no, this is an insult. So I wanted to just prove her wrong. I started reading those I started reading those books. I started with How to Sell to Nigerian, and then I started reading other books, even this tiny habits. I think book was one thing that really opened my mind. Like I saw the world in a different way. I then realized that it wasn't lack of money, it was lack of you not knowing the amount of power you have in your hand. Right? Not knowing that your mind is a very powerful place. Your mind is what you use to create things. Everything we have was based on imagination. This somebody imagined it before they then made it work for it to be a life. So your mind is where you can think of abundance and you see it there. So for you to then push it into the physical brain, you have now to do the reasonable work. And one thing I've noticed over the years is that the amount of work you put in is 20%. That's why they tell you don't work hard, work smart. So you need to find that reasonable work you want to do in a smart way that would give you the 80% results. It's not you putting 80% work. That's why they tell you if the most hardworking people were supposed to be the richest, then the level, the people like those people that actually do all this hard labor, they would have been You see the people using smart work, earning crazy figures. And that really opened my eyes to anything. And from that period, I started focusing on being more valuable. I started reading books. Like when even when people started to tell me what is aftermarket, I break it down because some people feel like, oh, aftermarket is a Ponzi scheme, it's a pyramid scheme. Bring somebody before you then get paid or something. So I break it down. No, you spend your budget for free. And we do it every day. I can put on like a dress that is so nice. Somebody approaches me and say, "Wow, your dress is beautiful. Where did you get it from?" I say, "Oh, I got it from this store. I just recommended for free." Now imagine if this person went there, paid for that dress, and the owner of the store realized that I was the person who recommended that lady to get it, and they decided to give me a token. This is what influencers do. Yeah, they do advertising for these people, and sometimes you see them tell you, "Oh, click on my link for you to get a like for you to get a coupon, like a discount." Right? But most times, it's more for you to purchase what you need. Broke it down for people. At this point, they didn't feel like insecure. They didn't feel like, oh, aftermarket was a bad business. They understood what it was. Then I told them the only reason why it looks as if it's bad is when maybe you pay for a training or you pay for a course and somebody blocks you, which was something that happened to me. So I was like, don't worry, I have the experience. I won't let that happen to you. I'm going to coach you. I'm going to carry you by hand. I mean, it's not a must, but I'm open to make sure I see you. And from there, people started like people I knew. I was started buying the digital because the digital course I was promoting was the UMM course, the ultimate money making course. That's the course that teaches you different skills, advertising, Facebook, mindset. That was what I was promoting. And people started buying it. So then I had to go to X to start generating leads like organically. I was posting, I was teaching people about affiliate marketing. And for the first time, I was so passionate and I was happy because, like, just tweeting. So I was posting online, I was engaging on X, and there was one particular period. I don't know what I engaged on literally, but I engaged on a particular Nigerian celebrity where he was talking about people ignoring the online space and the untapped resources and finance in the online space. And I commented on that, but I didn't know I was among the first 5 persons that commented. Now he's a celebrity, which means he has a lot of followers. I didn't know I was among the first 5 persons. And I was like, I said yes, like I told him, yes, it's true. Like there's so many businesses people could do after marketing. I started listening, like social media management, I started listening things. And I'm like, if only people could just tap into one of it, they'll make so much money. I engage that morning as I usually engage every single day, and I drop my phone. All of a sudden, my phone was buzzing. I don't understand. So later that afternoon, I went back. I turned on my phone. Messages. People were following me. People were sending me messages like, "How can I tell me more about what are you doing?" I told them after my they were like, "Tell me more. Tell me more." Tell me more. So that was when I would say that was my first experience in like organic generation for real. And mind you, then I already knew what to answer these people with their questions, so it was easy for me to like debunk all the misunderstandings they had about after marketing. And I made so much sense. But organic was no longer sufficient because it is organic traffic. It comes when it wants to come. And even during the period I was getting this leads in, I relaxed, like I stopped engaging because like building on X organically is very difficult. You have to engage, you have to show up every single day. I still do it to today, by the way. But then you have to show up every single day and it's a lot. So I'm like, I don't know when my next post will go viral because that post went viral for like 2 weeks straight up and I made a lot of money. I made a lot of money. I also made a lot of mistakes because that was my first time touching money like fluently, like a lot of money coming in fluently. So the more money that came in, the more I spent because like, I was eating, I was buying things, I was spending, buying clothes. I was just spending the money lavishly because I felt like it was right now. Looking back, I just felt like, oh, it was my first time touching plenty money. So I was just spending anyhow. So when the leads stopped coming, I was like, why the leads stop coming? Like I need more leads. And that was my first time of learning that okay, organic traffic is a way you get people, like you get people attention organically by posting, by building online organically. So if I needed more leads to keep coming in, I needed to learn paid traffic. And that was where running ads came in, right? And it took me a while. It took me a while to
You are Google ad expert. That's very specific field. A lot of people go into social media marketing or content creation. Why Google Ads? What pull you to that?
Awesome. I love that question. So I'm going to answer this by telling you what really happened that made me selected Google Ads specifically. So I can remember when I chose to now learn paid traffic. First and first, I didn't really think of learning it. I just felt like I could outsource the skill. Like I needed a Facebook ad expert because that was what a lot of athletes were using. And when I paid, they didn't really give me reasonable leads. And there were some persons I paid, they didn't really take like you would pay and they would you were supposed to start getting your lead this week, but it would take them a month. Like they were being sluggish, right? So I felt like okay, let me learn. So I decided to learn Facebook ad. I don't know what really went wrong, but then the ad I ran was so bad. The leads that came in were so like they weren't serious. They were just joking with affiliate marketing. Some of them would even tell you, "Oh, I need you to send me money to confirm that oh, affiliate marketing does really pay." That just bunch of unserious people. So I dropped Facebook ad and I said, "Okay, let me try Instagram ad." I tested Instagram ad. I don't know what happened, but it did for me. Instagram ad it didn't work. Facebook did not work. Instagram did not work. And back then, there was no TikTok ad. Then I think this was around 2022, 2023. There was no TikTok ad was not existing. So I'm like, I'm done with paid traffic. Let me come back to my organic. Let me come back to X and continue engaging organically. So it was on X after like few weeks. It was on X I bumped into a live training on Google advertising. And I was like, what's the difference? How am I sure I'm going to get the same results from other ones? So the way the person broke down Google advertising, they were like, oh, you enjoy this Google advertising because Google is one of the leading advertising platform. Like Google has been there for if I'm over 20 years, they have been there. So they have enough data to connect you to the exact kind of people you are looking for. And I was like, bingo, because all the leads I've been getting were unserious, unqualified. Some of them didn't even know what after marketing is. And it's not because they are not matured enough to know. But they were not just serious. Like there's the difference between showing your ad to somebody like me back then who was ready to start something online and then your ad just appearing on feed of people that just want to play game. Some of them will just click on it just because they are bored. So disturb what you're doing. You get so that was the issue I was having back then. So I was like, okay, let me try Google Ad. So I joined the live training and it was a live training, like I think 14 whole days. We were like being trained live and we were practically practicing as we go. And the first ad I ran on Google was so good. So good. The whole lead converted. I think I spent $20 and I generated like 100 plus lead back then. And over 50% of them got. The other set of person, like the reason I said the whole lead converted was that other set of person told me, I want to. You understand? I need to look for money to get this affiliate marketing because some people were paying instrumentally. So I was shocked. I'm like, are you serious? So I posted my result about Google and I was like, oh, I ran out with $20. I generated 125 lead and over 50% of them converted and more are still converting. So I already have followers then. Of course, I had more affiliate marketers following me. So they saw my screenshot because it wasn't just one. I had consistently continued to run, even trying to launch more, and all of them were doing fine. Do you get? And one thing I love was that people that came through Google would tell me I was searching for this thing. That's the difference. Like when you are running Google ad, I'm very certain, even right now, when you go to Google and search for something, let's say for example you search about food and then you specifically search about fish, like maybe a specific kind of fish. The moment you're done searching about that thing, maybe you enter YouTube, an ad will pop up related to something like that. And you'll be like, how these people knowing that I just search for this? Because Google have your data. I mean, I don't know if it's safe or not for them to expose your data like that, but they have your data. And I'm sure they're not using it for harmful purposes. That is why they can connect the right set of people, the right set of things. So people would always enter my DM and tell me, I was looking for a way to earn online and I saw your and I connected. Somebody told me, search for what affiliate marketing means and I saw your ad. I was like, God, this is what I'm looking for. So I think that was the reason why, not even I think, that was the major reason why I focused on Google ad and I started to learn more, not just about Google, YouTube ad, app ad, because Google owns all this thing, demand gen, emails, ads. And one thing with Google is that even Gmail advertising, they do it on Google. So they have so many ways for you to run your ad. Do you know that even currently right now as I'm speaking to you, TikTok is running their ads on Google and YouTube as I'm speaking to you currently right now. So that's to tell you that that platform is so valuable because people are going there. We use Google to search for things, right? So people are going there to search for the solution to their problem. If you'd want to, if you'd want to locate a restaurant right now, you will go to Google Map or you go to Google and search for the name of that restaurant to know where it is. So literally, Google is the main place we go for answer before ChatGPT, before even with this AI of it thing, people are still going to Google because Google also have Capilot, right? And people use that also. So your data is still going to Google, it's still going to YouTube, and because of the Gmail you created on Google, they can categorize you into what you want. That's why sometimes you see some ad and it's like, how these people, like, how do they even know that this is what I'm looking for? That's what Google does. So for me, I feel like Google is a place where you get mature leads. People who are actually looking for that thing you are promoting, that thing you are looking to offer to them. Do you understand? And the good thing is that most of these people searching about this thing on Google, they are aware that they have a problem. It doesn't just go to only affiliate marketing alone. Like when I started posting on X, I was posting screenshots, like the result I was getting, the sales I was getting. And people, a lot of affiliate marketers started reaching out to me, oh, I should run ad for them, stuff like that. So that was where running advertising for people came in. So I started running ad for these people, they were getting results. People were recommending me to their friends. So I was running ad back to back. At the point I didn't even have the time to run ad for the affiliate marketing. So at a point, I had to stop affiliate marketing and then fully focus as a Google ad expert and then run ad for people to help them boost their business. So I've run ad where probably it's like a real estate or maybe it's a fashion or maybe it's a bakery and people will be like, oh, I was actually searching for a place to buy this fresh bread and your ad appeared. Do you get? So these people are aware that they have a problem. Now they're searching for solution. That's why when you go to Google, let's say for example you want to buy a land right now, you will just search for lands in Lagos because you know you're aware you for you to even think about buying a house, buying a land, you have the finance or you know someone that does, right? Or you know a relative. For you to have interest towards that goal, you're already thinking about getting that stuff. So that's why when they search for it, your ad appears first or maybe not first, but it appears the most convincing. And they clicks on it and they come to your DM, they are ready to buy immediately. So people tell me, oh, why is it that Google Leads they are always ready to purchase that stuff immediately? Because they already have the finance to get that stuff. That's why they are not going to Google to confirm. That's why somebody can just go and search for what's affiliate marketing. Some people even search for how can I get started with affiliate marketing. Imagine your ad just appearing and then when it appears there, just enter your DM. If you're able to, that's where sales closing comes in. Because if you're able to communicate with those people well and explain to them, they'll be like, oh, this person knows what they're doing. They buy from you. So that's the difference.
That's so real. Your tagline says you can take a brand from unknown to 5x visibility over competitors. Huh? That sound powerful. But let me ask you, how does that actually work in simple terms? If someone watching this right now has a small business and nobody knows about them, what does that journey look like?
Okay, that's a very beautiful question. So the reason I have that on my bio is that I just shared my journey with you on how I was able to, you know, begin my dying affiliate marketing business just by running ads on Google. So when I was running ads on Google, I wasn't known. Yes, I knew a little bit about personal branding, but my personal branding ended on WhatsApp and on X. No, like nothing else. Do you get my point? So when I was now running ad on Google, I had to create good copy. I had to answer questions of people's like questions that people are burning to ask for them to now know that okay, I know what I'm doing and then they connect with me. So what does Google Ad do for small businesses? It's not as if these businesses are small. No, they are not. But there are people, there are competitors that are already doing better than you. And you need to find a very unique way to stand out. And that's where Google Ad comes in because you're not just burning money because you can run ad on any other social media platform and it could be 50-50, right? Because most of this platform, what they do is that they push your ad to people's face. It might not necessarily be what they really want to do. They will just push it to people's face. But when it comes to Google, they are connecting you with what people like the people that really need that thing. That's the difference. Do you understand? And then when you are an unknown brand, it means that people don't know you. Simple. Like it's better for people to go online and search for I want to buy this red purse and your ad appears. Because there's so many e-commerce store right there. There are also so many fashion store right there. They could buy from anybody. Now imagine when they search for something and then your ad appears. They click on your ad and they find convincing stylishing bags and they feel like okay, I can order from this and then they order, they have a good customer experience with you, they start to refer people to you. Do you understand? So these are ways to push yourself out there. Now I'm not going to be that kind of ad expert that will tell you don't run ad on any other social media platform. No, please do run it. In fact, what I advise people is that if you have the budget, run your ads on Google, run your ads on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere because it gives you that dominating power. And that is why a lot of advertising, like a lot of big company, they don't joke with advertising. Coca-Cola, they don't joke with advertising. Do you get my point? This big company,
Yes.
Indomie, but they don't joke with advertising. They have a budget for advertising because their goal is to dominate. It doesn't mean that like I try to explain this thing to people. There are more businesses coming out. More even the big star right now, somebody is already doing it. So they know the game. They know that visibility is very important. They have to always be at the top mind of people. That's why these people they don't joke with budgets. They have a budget for other. Like I worked with, there was a crypto brand I worked with. They have a budget. They have a budget they bring up for advertising. They don't joke with advertising, and their name were always there. So imagine when people are searching for. Tell me more about crypto. Is crypto a scam? Your ad appears, and then they enter your DM and they ask you, "Do you think crypto is a scam?" And then you tell them, "Ah, I understand. Probably you've invested wrongfully, but these are the reasons why crypto is not a scam. And then for you to identify a scam, these are the reasons. You know, one thing people don't understand with advertising is people think when your ad appears anywhere, people tap on it, they buy immediately. No. Especially when you're a newbie, when you are an unknown business, like a small business owner, people don't buy immediately because they are having doubts. Some persons will even tell you that I've not heard of your business name ever before, and that's fine because you're a newbie. You cannot come and start comparing yourself with Coca-Cola. I don't know if you get my point. If you're doing business that Coca-Cola is doing, you can't compare yourself. So they would want to ask you like, why should I buy from you? That's where you begin to sell emotionally. What are they looking for that they can't find in Coca-Cola? That's why when they enter your DM, they are the first person to message you. That's why it is advertised. Like if I need something from you, I'm going to DM you first. If I don't DM you, you wouldn't know I need something from you. So you need to be very smart because that message they're going to send to you is what you should leverage on. So some of them can just enter your DM and be like, I heard of this juice before. Is it really nice? And why should I get it? Is it healthy? You need to leverage on that. You need to ask yourself, okay, what's the difference between my drink and Coca-Cola drink? Is my drink healthy? Is it cheaper? Is it more affordable? I know right now everybody is hearing about Temu, right? I'm sure you've heard of Temu. Temu is trending everywhere because they are running app. But Temu has been there for long. I'm sure Temu has been there for more than 3 years. These 3 years there have been and more, they have actually been running at consistently. They never stopped. So Temu did not just wake up one day and started to blow up. No, Temu has been running ad, and for them to start running ad, they have already built a system. That's why there are sometimes where you'll be watching content on YouTube and then you see Temu ad, they'll tell you, oh, buy one get one free. Once you click on it, they take you to their whole website where you have to spin a wheel and then you win something and then you begin to buy some things from Temu because they have put this thing in place. For Temu, that is their sales closing funnel. That is what it looks like. For a small business owner that is just starting out, your sales closing funnel should come to your DM. Like these leads, they should come to your DM so that you can always follow up with them, so that they can watch your WhatsApp status. That was why I told you that coach Destiny, he taught me everything I needed to know about WhatsApp marketing. Because not everybody will buy immediately. Some people are going to judge you. Some people they'll be like, no, no, this person I've not heard of your name before, so why should I buy from you? So from your status, they see your motivational content, they see the reviews of other students, they see other people getting your product, and they're like, okay, for people to get things from this, but this person is actually legit. And then they try it themselves. I've actually been in a situation where people actually buy my course because right now I have a Google Ad course. They buy my course. Once they're done, they start telling two or three more persons to come and get my course. So it's not just about people need to stop about thinking of how to make money, and focus on being valuable. Because when you are valuable, you don't end the customer relationship. Because a lot of people think that customer relationship ends once the transaction is done. And that's why a lot of business run down. It doesn't end there. Like people are waiting for the first paycheck. Once the customer buys once, the attitude change. Do you get? They start treating them anyhow. They will DM you, be like, I don't have your time. It shouldn't be like that because the first paycheck is like a test. Now, even for the customer, probably they will not come back to buy from you. They just bought that thing one time something. But do you know if somebody needs that thing, they will highly recommend you to that person. I've been in situations where people would recommend my service, my course, to people I don't even know. They will enter my DM and they will say you came highly recommended. Or just because maybe after they were done getting the course, I was guiding them through. I'll tell them go through it like this. Are you having confusion? Tell me. I might not answer your message immediately, but I will always respond. So people don't understand. It's not always money is good. Money is good, but when you focus on transaction, it just shows the bad side of the business because once the customer pays, your attitude will change, and that's very bad. In general, you shouldn't even treat people based on how much they can buy or if they are bought from you. Just treat everybody the same. Answer their questions equally. If you don't have the time, that is where you begin to hire an assistant. Do you get? So that is what I mean. Because for me, I see the truth is a lot of business owners send on LinkedIn, from X, from I'm currently on Twitter. No, I'm on Twitter. I'm currently on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, right? And also YouTube. So a lot of people send me messages from there, and they're like, "I want to run ad for my sneaker business. I want to run ad for this. I own a salon. I want to run ad." But there are questions I ask these people. Do you know the funniest thing? I could get more than 30 persons in a week DMing me that they want to run ad. And these whole 30 persons, even not up to two, will be qualified for me to run ad for them. So it is one thing for people to reach out to me and say, I want to run ad. And it's also another thing for me to tell you, you don't qualify. And I won't say it in a rude way, I will give them reasons. There are some people that cannot handle leads. There are some businesses that cannot handle leads. Like they tell you, we're looking for money, we're looking for money. You start running ad, they cannot handle 50%. And you want to compete with Coca-Cola. And you want to compete with them. Meanwhile, when 100 people send you message, you are stressed out. Everybody is sending me message. I don't know how to respond to them. Why are these people asking me too much questions? They should just buy. Let them just buy. Nah. So lead generation is one thing. Sales closing is another thing. And customer relationship is also another thing. So you need to find a balance, and especially if you are a small business owner, because I've seen people that come with this propaganda that, oh, Google ad is for big business owner, and I get why they say it, because on Google, you're running your ads in dollars, and sometimes it can be quite expensive depending on the niche you are in, right? So it's going to be expensive depending on the niche you're in. So they just feel like, oh, it's only big businesses. That's why you can only see Colgate running ad. That's why you can only see Close Up running ad. That's why you can only see Jumia, Temu, and Gigi running ad. That's why you can only see Nivea. No any other cream business can run ad. No, that's not why. Do you get my point? Advertising can help any business. And when I say advertising, you don't see me saying only Google ad. No. Instagram can help any business. Facebook can help any business. TikTok ad can help any business. Google ad as well can help any business. It is how you then tap
That's
into it. That's what matters. So for me, even now till this day, I've seen people approach me and say, when you tell your story, you don't tell us that Facebook ad is bad. You don't tell us that Instagram ad is bad. You just say it didn't work for you. And I'll tell them yes. Because maybe it just wasn't meant to work for me at that moment. Right? Or maybe I just didn't get the hang of it at that moment. So it didn't work for me. So I don't go telling people, oh, Google ad is the only best. No. I go telling people, run ad. Lead generation is the best. Visibility is very important. Run your ad. Anyone, run it. But run it well, and make sure your funnel is good. Make sure your sales closing technique is awesome. Because sales closing technique is what will get you the sales. And after the sales, treat these people well. Don't just end it at the sales. I've seen people that will buy once, come back and buy more. Do you get? So if you just stop at that one sales, you're going to go broke. You're going to go big. That's why businesses run down. Then you see people, they have like over 10,000 contacts, but they can't sell to them again because their first experience was so horrible. And sometimes it might not just be, some people might think, oh, maybe it's because they just made payments and then all of a sudden you started ignoring the person. No, it can also be in the delivery. Do you understand? Like maybe before the project, you told them there will be free delivery, this that they paid, and then you start telling them, oh, you have to pay 2.5 for delivery, you have to pay $3 for delivery. It's annoying. I order things a lot, so it is very annoying. Like if I need to pay for delivery, tell me I need to pay for delivery. You don't have to scam me with that. So just be straightforward. People are not hard. Like I keep telling people, the people you're advertising to are human beings like just you and I. Do them well. The same way you would feel. Like how would you feel? You order a meal from me, and I tell you it's going to come with an extra Coca-Cola drink, and it's going to be free delivery. And oh, there's also going to be like maybe two pieces of Mentos attached to it as a nice sweet for you. And then you make payments. And then I tell you, I'm going to connect you to the delivery people. Now the delivery people, they call you and they tell you, ah, man, nobody has paid, or sir, nobody has paid for your delivery. And then you contact me again and I tell you, pay for your delivery now. Just pay for your delivery. How would you feel? You feel cheated. You feel somehow. You get, and now not just only that, you get your meal, and all you're saying is only your meal. It didn't come with the Coca-Cola drink. It didn't come with the Mentos. No sweets, nothing on top. It's not as if people cannot buy these things, but it makes it fun. It makes it look as if you have a special treatment for your customers. And that's what people are looking for, specialty. Everybody wants to be treated in a unique way, right? So people need to really I don't know why I'm emphasizing on this, but people just really need to understand this thing. Because I've seen people where
that is
I interview them
that is
and
so
they just
true. So, what is the minimum budget someone needs to start seeing result with Google Ads?
be good, the minimum budget. I love that question. So, like I said from the beginning, when you want to run your ad on Google, depending on your niche, there is a budget attached to it. Now, it doesn't mean you cannot get results with maybe running $5 per day. All right. But the thing is, if you want to get more results, like more leads, you have to increase your budget. Because Everybody, like businesses, a lot of businesses are also running their ads on Google, which means you most likely have a competitor. So imagine if your competitor is doing $300 per day and you're doing $5. I mean, you can do $5 for 1 week, 2 weeks to see how the leads are going to go, right? But the moment you feel like, oh, these leads are doing where they are converting, or I'm getting results, I'm getting visibility, you have to increase your budget with time, right? And what a lot of online business owners or small business owners don't know is that the money you're making from the sales you're getting is what you're supposed to put back in. So you need to have strict rules. Like when you start getting results, sales results from your advertising, you need to have strict rules. You need to put back, if you can put 90% of your money back into advertising, do it, because when you put on 90, it means that you have more than enough to increase your budget. So for it to be increased, it means that the leads are going to that are going to come in will be more, like it will be better, it will be more qualitier, and they will buy more, which means you're making more money. Then you keep on. That's why I say all these big brands, they have budgets for advertising. So it gets to the point where the good thing with Google is that there's no specific budget. That's why I say it depends on your need. So now it is now up to the company to now choose and say, okay, we can bring out $100 monthly for ads on Google, or we can bring out $2,000 monthly for ads on Google. Do you understand? So whatever budget you have, I believe you can start with on Google to test the waters. It could be $5 daily, it could be $10 daily, it could be $20 daily, depending on your niche. And that's where keyword planner comes in. There's something they call keyword planner. There's also something they call keyword research. And this is where you go input your most popular keyword in that your niche to see what the bid rate looks like. It doesn't mean that Google is going to charge you per that keyword, but then you just see and have an idea of what the bidding rates, like the lowest bidding rate, the highest bidding. Google has that, and that's why I love Google, because they want you to win. So they help you with all of this information so that you can win. So when you go to your keyword planner, you input, let's say, 5 keyword. They're also going to give you other keyword that people are searching for. That's why when I was telling my story, I told you that there are some persons who would search for, is affiliate marketing is scam. I mean, I might not use that keyword, but then in the keyword planner, if I realize that it is getting like 100K searches in a month, I'm going to add it because I know it's a hot keyword as well. Do you get? And then you get to see what the highest bidding rate is. Sometimes the highest bidding rate could be $1. Sometimes the highest bidding rate could be 0.95 cents. Do you understand? So from there you can do your math. Now most times you can add like 8, 9 keywords together. Like keyword together. Now imagine if this keyword, their highest bidding rate is like $2, which means if they are nine, it's like $18, right? But do you know that $18, you don't have to use $18 per day. You can still use $5 per day and still get results. That's where your ad copy comes in. That's why you're not supposed to sound like every other person. That's where you use pain point. That's where having an ideal target audience in mind comes in. What are their age range? What is the problem they face? What is that deep problem that they will not talk about? Do you understand? Like if I was to bump into an affiliate marketing ad back then, I would say my major problem as a student or as a person struggling to earn finance was that I wanted to be that kind of person that would depend on myself. I wanted to be a student that is doing well financially. And I've seen ads like that these days where people tell you, are you a student? Are you a broke student? Or are you a student that does not have stable finances? Do you want to learn a good, legitimate skill? Things like that. It's calling out to people like me. And maybe that ad is going to be from between the age of maybe 18 to maybe 30, which is the within range age range of students. I don't even get my point. So that's why your ad copy is important, your ID target audience is important, your detailed targeting is important, your headline, your description, everything is important. Do you get? So
That is
that
so
when you
true.
create, yeah, so that when you create your ad, that's why there are some persons I would run ad for them and I'll be like, wow, like God leads. And our niche on our niche basically is like a lot of people, but with this budget we were able to get leads. That's why I tell them your copy needs to be very good. So when I interview business, like yes, we hop on one call so I can get to close the deal. they are interviewing me, I'm also interviewing them. So when I feel like, oh, this brand, they are very new, they cannot budge, because I get to ask you a lot of questions. I'll be like, what kind of content have you used for advertising? Is this your first time advertising? What's your experience with advertising? And then when people start to tell me, well, I haven't run ad before, I'll be like, it's okay. But they'll be like, oh, I want to use $100 to make like $10,000, because I want to generate plenty leads. The person is aiming for money, and it won't work, because the people coming in with problem, they're not looking to solve it. They're just looking to either lie to manipulate their way to make sales. I'm like, it won't even work, because these days people are very smart. People can see through your bullshit. People can just see through the lies.
That
So even
is
if you're
true.
telling them, yeah, everybody is smart now. Like, when it comes to spending money, I also become very smart. I don't spend anyhow, and I'm sure you don't spend anyhow. So when it comes to money, people are very active. Like, before they spend, they're like, what is in it for me? So even when you're trying to lie your way through, there's some smart people that will be like, this is a lie. And they will not pay. You get? So these are the things. Sometimes I don't ask them the question directly, but from the way they respond, how they get back, like I would ask them, how would you talk to a customer, or how do you respond to a customer? And if they tell me, oh, we have, okay, that's good, but then these people come to our DM. Once they come to our DM, they just purchase, they buy, we just want them to buy. I actually, there was a travel agent that wanted to work with me, and they just kept on telling me, travel agents, what they were mostly concerned with was like, all this vacation travel, all those stuff. So they were like, we just want family people. We just, once they come to our DM, they should just buy. And I kept on asking the question, how do you feel like there are some questions those people would ask you, whatever the question is? So
Now, we have some rapid fire round question. We need to answer in one word. What comes to your mind first?
okay,
Google Ads or SEO? If you had to pick one forever,
I will still go with Google. I'll go with Google because SEO is good, but it's kind of organic. And I feel like it's an organic way to build your brand name, your business name on Google, which is good. But then I've seen people that have done SEO for 6 months. Then when you see some particular kind of competitors running ad, because they're running with crazy budget, when you search for something, those people running with crazy budget will still come out at the top. And the
then
SEO
say
people,
a book or podcast that changed your life. Which one?
oh, oh. So for me, the book that actually did change my life was the first book I had to read, which was How to Sell to Nigerians by Canada. That book, I have the hard copy here with me. That book, even till today, I still try my best to read through it because, to be honest, people don't know this, but Nigerians are the hardest people to sell to. The hardest. Because we would ask you all the questions, both the annoying ones. And they do it intentionally to piss you off because they want to know your level of tolerance. And it's not like they are doing it because they are trying to like frustrate you. They are doing it because they feel like maybe when I'm done buying this product, this person will not be there to answer my question. Do you get? So they are like trying to like ask you nosy questions, very itchy questions that if you're not careful, you'll be like, just buy this thing. So yeah, I had to say to Nigerians, I
That's true.
actually did a lot for me. It actually did a lot for me.
That's so true. How do the people find you online and follow your work?
Oh, I'm on social media platforms. I'm on X, LinkedIn, also on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. So people do connect with me from those places. Also get a lot of referrals. So people refer people as well on my WhatsApp. So yeah, that's
So we are going to share those links. You can follow Chiamaka. and her work also through those social media sites. That is incredible communications. It is a great opportunity for us to be host you here in this platform. So it
Thank you so
is
much.